This is the main entry room of the wizard's house. The front door is to the south. Creaky stairs go upstairs, and doorways lead north and east.
This is Manannan's detestable pet.
It's a painting of the wizard from long ago. You wonder if he was ever young. The old wizard looks at you menacingly.
My chamber pot is full. Empty it immediately.
A rectangular rug has been laid out to welcome Manannan's feet each morning. You feel for it.
It's the wizard's chamber pot.
Wrinkling your nose in disgust, you throw the smelly contents of the chamber pot out the open window. What a way to make a living.
The large dining table is made of pine planking. Matching benches run its length on both sides. The table is big enough to seat at least 10 people, though you doubt it's accommodated more than a tenth of that. You take a moment's respite at the table, then decide you haven't the time. The perfect servant, aren't you? An apple and some grapes grace the kitchen table. This is the kitchen of the wizard's house. Other than your own bedchamber, this is the only place in the house that you feel you can call your own. The wizard rarely enters the kitchen. On cold days, the fireplace is a cozy place to sit. There's nothing. You take the fruit and carry it with you. You take the loaf of bread and carry it with you. A leftover piece of mutton. You take the mutton chop and carry it with you. You take the wooden spoon from the iron rack and keep it with you. You've done enough. You take the carving knife from the iron rack and keep it with you. You retrieve the clay bowl from the kitchen shelf and take it with you. The wizard gives you an evil glare. You get on your hands and knees and quickly shove all your possessions under the bed. They will be safe from the wizard's sharp eyes there. This is your own pitiful bedchamber. Compared to Manannan's fine room, yours is almost a cell. The bed is hard and uncomfortable, with only a threadbare blanket and a small, flat pillow. The other furnishings are junk. But as poor as it is, it's your haven, as the wizard never enters it. You have always admired this lovely tapestry. It's one of the few bright spots in this dreary house. You lift the bottom of the tapestry and peer behind it. The wall is filled with cracks. You can see why Manannan would hang such a tapestry here. There are also dozens of charcoal drawings, diagrams, maps, and notes to programmers with the legend of King's Quest IV. But you're uninterested in this, since you presently have your hands full with King's Quest III. You lower the tapestry and smooth out the wrinkles.
You see nothing on the dusty floor but a dead fly.
You pick up the dead fly and drop it into your hand. Disgustedly, you look at it. The well-polished brass telescope is used by Manannan to keep tabs on the citizens of Ludor. You put your eye to the glass. It amazes you how near everything seems. You could even see squirrels climbing faraway trees. No wonder the wizard knows of all activities in Ludor. The wizard's glare makes you suddenly feel very, very small.
I have decided to take a journey.
There is a small drawer in the front of the mahogany vanity. It is an oval mirror. Obviously, Manannan has never looked into it, as it isn't cracked from side to side. A bottle with a green leaf stopper contains some cat mint. A comb, perfectly suited for the maintenance of long facial fleece. A bottle with a cat's head on it. Manannan must be allergic to cats. Presumably, these are Manannan's reading glasses. You've never seen him read. He spends most of his time watching the townspeople, or you. It's a lovely handheld mirror. Manannan's a vain old codger, isn't he? You take the wizard's hand mirror. There aren't any feline genies around. You have excellent eyesight. Besides, they wouldn't suit you. Perhaps in a few years, when you've worn out that soft down presently posing as stubble. So far, you're allergy-free. Blank parchments for those late-night urges to jot something down. They're probably used to notate new ideas for making your life more miserable. Write about your journey after you've gotten where you're going. It is a simple dresser containing Manannan's unmentionables. The thought of those conjures many memories of washing them. Chocolate creams. No, wait a minute. They're chocolate-coated insects. Yuck! A blue bottle labeled with a V. Given local topography, you're guessing it stands for vertigo. Manannan must have a little trouble with heights. It's a bottle of rose petal essence. 3 vials contain small quantities of hair, all in different colors. That's odd. They're all labeled Gwydion. You've never wanted to smell like a rose, but they're of no use to you. You don't have a problem with heights, not one you'd admit to. You've only been fed slop in your life, bit late to be starting on crunchy food. The back of the wizard's closet is too dark to see clearly. You search behind the clothes hanging in the wizard's closet. You're startled to discover an ancient parchment scroll. Its ink has faded, but it seems to be a map. Taking this treasure, you leave everything else exactly as it was. You see a black cloak hanging in the closet. You search the pockets of the black cloak. Suddenly you discover a small brass key. What could it unlock? Dropping to your hands and knees, you reach under the bed and retrieve all of your possessions. Manannan's dark house perches like a bird of prey atop the mountain. A steep path winds its way to the base. Potential meals meander about the coop. You pick up the chicken. You gently pluck a feather from the chicken and gently set it back on the ground. When closed, the coop does its job well. A tree grows bravely near the wizard's house. Ludor stretches below you. The precarious path winds around Manannan's mountain. Watch your step. An eagle sits in its nest, tilting its head as it eyes you warily. It's an eagle's feather. The precarious path winds around Manannan's mountain. Watch your step. Manannan's mountain sits to the north, a mound of overrated sediment. A little cottage lies to the south as you stand between the desert and the port town. This quaint little cottage is home to the bears. There is no answer. You sink too deeply in the overstuffed chair. This chair is much too soft. You taste the porridge and decide that this bowl of porridge is too cold. You feel very small and uncomfortable in this big chair. This chair is much too hard. You taste the porridge and decide that this bowl of porridge is too hot. This chair feels just right. Just right. So you take it with you. There is only a splintered pile of wood that was once a small chair. There is only... Homely bunch, aren't they? Cheery flames crackle in the fireplace. The bears must feel the cold. Homely bunch. You are in the homely bunch. You are in the bear family's cozy bedroom. 3 beds share with a chest of drawers. You closely examine the contents of the drawer. You can see a very ornate pincushion in the bottom of the drawer. Something tells you it belongs to Mama Bear. This drawer is filled with various implements for sewing. It must belong to Mama Bear. A small green bottle rests in the bottom of the drawer. There is a little silver sewing thimble here. You pick up the thimble. There is a spool of black thread in the drawer. Your clothes may be in need of repair, but you hardly have the time to worry about such things. Your clothes may be in need of repair, but you hardly have the time to worry about such things. As handy as a small bottle may be in other games, you see no use for it in this one. As handy as a... You jump onto the medium-sized bed and sink deep into its fluffy depths.
This bed is much too soft. You flop onto the biggest bed. This bed is much too hard. You sincerely hope that head isn't real. After all, what species would hunt its own? You are in the bear feels cozy. It would make an awkward disguise. You lie upon the smallest bed and snuggle down into the pillow. This bed is just right. You've fallen asleep. Oh no, Papa Bear has found you sleeping in Baby Bear's bed. You're in for it now.
Keep out of our house, human! Scram!
What a beautiful garden, you think. The residents must take great care of it. Dew has formed on the petals from the night before. What a beautiful... You take a handful of fertile soil from the garden. Holding the silver thimble beneath a dew-filled flower, you gently tip the flower so its dew runs into the thimble. You move from flower to flower, repeating the process until your thimble is brimming with dew. The trunk is home to a fair few bees. The grassy forest carpet merges with the vast desert. A small cactus grows near the edge of the desert. You scoop up a small handful of sand. The beautiful trees of the forest to the east grow sparse as they reach the edge of the great desert to the west. You do notice one particularly large oak tree.
What a fine oak.
You look up into the towering oak tree. You can only see large spreading branches and thick leaves. Looking down, you see a small hole between the tree's large roots. You bend down and look into the small hole. It's too dark inside to see anything. You don't want to go reaching into holes when you have no idea what's inside. For all you know, that tree could be filled with ants. The acorns surround the old oak tree and crunch under your step. You pick and poke among the fallen acorns looking for dried ones. You don't find any. These are all newly fallen. You pick and poke among the fallen acorns looking for dried ones. You eventually find 3 dried acorns and take them with you. These two are certainly unsavory rogues. The forest grass has given way to the coarser coastal green. The seagull feasts on its latest lunch. The store sits on the south side of the pier. Catch of the day's reject. The magic map. You pull out your magic map. You feel a strange pulling sensation. Nimbly, you grab the nasty cat by the scruff of its neck, avoiding its needle-sharp claws. And now that you have it, what are you going to do with it? You manage to pluck some fur before he viciously scratches and leaps from your arms. With grim satisfaction, you survey your wounds. You see an evil sneer come across the wizard's face.
I am hungry. Prepare me a meal at once.
Manannan is impatiently waiting for his food. His stomach rumbles as he drums his gnarled fingers on the table. You'd better feed him quickly, or dire consequences may result. The barrels contain grain and there's no fun to be had with these barrels. As it is summer, the need for a fire and cooked food is diminished. You have no... Manannan is impatient... Manannan is impatiently waiting for his food.
Master?
What is it? Speak quickly, boy.
What are the people of Ludor like?
The wizard gives you a cautionary glance.
Why? Intending to make their acquaintance, are you?
No, I'm just curious. From what you have said in the past, they don't sound very appreciative of you.
Selfish, pathetic creatures requiring constant vigilance. They should have some respect for an old man. It tires me keeping track of their movements, never knowing when one might put a foot out of line.
You have the strangest notion that Manannan's last comment was not an expression.
They sound wretched.
Much like yourself, but they are punished for their disobedience as surely as you are.
Manannan does not appear in much of a talkative mood at the moment. Conversing with him further might be unwise. Your heart skips as the wizard gives you an evil look.
I am going to lie down for a rest. Do not disturb me.